Shayna Darnell never really knows how long it'll take to get to work each morning or home at the end of the day.
And sometimes it could take 35 minutes and sometimes it could take an hour and a half. It just depends on how bad the traffic is.
She loves her job, but admits the commute can make her crazy.
Now having a family and, trying to juggle it all, it's not as easy. Plus, when you have that limited amount of time to spend with your child or children, it becomes so precious.
So does she consider moving closer to the city?
No. Part of having lived in a big city is I really love living in suburbia. I never thought I would ever in a million years say that, but I don't think as much about crime. I don't worry as much about my car getting broken into. A lot of my friends who live in town, that's part of their life.
So she makes the most of her commute, trying to treat it as her private time. That's easier on the way to work than it is when the workday is done.
So I definitely feel this pressure to get home.
And she's not alone in her sentiment. It turns out many of us feel like the drive home is cutting into our me time.
People perceive that when they drive to work that's part of their work time. And then when they get off work, they perceive that time as being part of their free time. So they're much more likely to be unhappy with their evening commute because it's taking away from their free time.
In the morning, it's time to prepare myself for the day. On the ride home, though, it's more tense. I feel the pressure to get home, and I feel like everyone's trying to get home, and there's more intensity.
And the time in the car can really take its toll. But studies show, for whatever reason, it hits women hardest.
We found that women are responding that they're much more stressed out from the commute than men are. I know that from doing focus groups with women that they're reporting that they stop more frequently, and oftentimes they're picking up children or dropping children off, and they have deadlines for that, and that could be why they're reporting that they're more stressed out.
Shayna thinks it's her own expectations that make the difference, stressing her out as a mom and wife. She knows she's paying a hefty price.
My sanity would be number one. Oh, I forgot to breathe. It's time to sit down and just kind of breathe, and I'm missing out on exercise. I find it hard to find time in the day to walk or go to the gym, or, I have a gym membership that I never get to go to. I'm missing out on time with him. I worry about missing precious moments, first steps, things like that, first words, and I miss out on time with my husband and that important, intimacy of how was your day and talking and just having decompression period.
It's easy to see how. She has a lot to do after work.
We have a routine with him, which is so important. And, we want to get him dinner at a certain time and try to eat dinner as a family. So getting home in time to prepare a meal, feed him, get him into the bath, and then get him ready for bed so that he can be in bed by 8:30. And then we go to bed at 9 to 9:30, because my husband gets up at 5.
And with the average ride 45 minutes each way, world-renowned stress expert Dr. Kathleen Hall says the commute definitely contributes to our stress.
Commuter stress can actually create more stress than a fighter pilot in battle. And somebody who is in a traffic jam is 3 times more likely to have a heart attack in the next hour.
And studies now show it can accelerate your aging as much as 10 years. So what can you do?
Think of it as me time. For a lot of us that have been moms, dads, we had that breakfast put out in the morning, got in the car, drove carpool. By the time we get to work, we are frazzled. This may be your only me time in your entire busy day. So, make it creative.
You can actually make your commute a healthy one by incorporating a couple C's into the trip.
First C is a classroom. Make it a classroom. Do you want to learn Spanish? Do you want to learn another language? How about a book you've always wanted to read, but you just don't have time? How about a book on tape? People that have a high vocabulary go up their corporate ladders. How about learning 4 new words a day? Get a vocabulary tape. So you can make it a classroom.
Then transform it to a choir loft and start singing.
You actually get an immune boost of 240% when you start singing. So pretend you are the new guest on American Idol. You actually get a serotonin boost while you're listening to music you love.
And your car can easily morph into a counseling center.
If you have a problem with anger, fear, phobias, anything you're dealing with, depression, Now you can get books on tapes by therapists that will actually help you deal with that particular issue that you have.
It's also easy to use this private time for prayer. C in this case stands for chapel.
You have a great opportunity to make this commute your chapel for the day. You've just left home, you've been busy, you made breakfast, got everybody off to school. This can be your me time for your spiritual life. Get your favorite CD of your favorite inspirational person or your religious person. Or if you didn't have time to pray, you can use that as a great time for your own personal prayer.
And there's one more way to make the most of this time.
How about making your commute the comedy club? We know that when you laugh, it increases your artery diameter by 22%. When you're stressed, it decreases it by 35%. So I want you to imagine people are pulling in and out in front of you and you're driving. That artery diameter is getting tighter. Start laughing.
The real key?
People that feel in control are less stressed. So this commute time can be me time. It can be the time when you're in control for that 45 minutes or an hour where you can create health, you can create education, and you have the opportunity to create what you want.
Back on the road, Shayna is just about home.
It's almost exactly an hour since I walked out the door. Had we not had the accident, we would have probably been home by now. But there's often things like that that happen, unfortunately. Where's Trevor?
She knows to make the most of her drive, but she's still driven by what's waiting for her at home.
Oh, I missed you.